Hey guys, Ryan Patterson with Vexus Boats, and we had a few minutes this morning, and so we've asked some guys off the production line to pull one of these AVX189cs into our showroom here. And so we're going to take a few minutes and kind of walk through bow to stern on this AVX189c. So very similar to the AVX189, the AVX189c is going to be 18 feet 7 inches. It's going to have a 94-inch beam. Where these two boats start to differentiate each other is the interior layout. So the first thing that you'll notice when you walk up to the C boat is that you've got a recessed trolling motor tray right here, and consistent with all the other AVX models that we produce here at Vexus, this is going to match the color of your boat. So you'll notice right here it's a nice deep recessed tray that keeps that trolling motor flush with the deck. Now also in this tray you're going to have an accessory station and a cup holder that's going to be able to give you access to drinks and your pliers throughout the day of fishing. But on the crappie model we've actually gimbal mounted the depth finder here in the center of the recessed tray. And that gives the angler the opportunity to have rod holders on both the port and starboard side of the recessed tray. So plenty of room to be able to operate throughout a day, whether you're trolling or jigging or so on and so forth. Working our way back from the recessed tray here in the 189c, you'll notice that we've got rod buckles that are recessed into the deck here, so when they're not in use, they're out of your way and you've got plenty of room to operate up here on the front deck. 3 sea bases right here to be able to have 2 to 3 anglers sitting up here at all times fishing throughout the day. One of the unique features and designs in this AVX189c that I'm really excited about is the front livewell system. We've actually reversed the hinge to where the angler can get to the access to his front livewell system without having to get out of his fishing chair during the day. You'll notice here it's a very deep livewell that comes with a lid shock on it, so you can leave it open during the day or you can shut it without having to get out of your fishing chair. Moving back into the cockpit area of the AVX189c, I think it's important to point out the array of room that you have in this boat, whether it be these storage boxes that's on the step right here headed to the front deck or in front of the console. But something that I think crappie anglers are going to really appreciate is the deck space that comes on this boat. So if you've got a 14-foot rod essentially on each side, both the port and starboard gunnel, you're going to be able to lay that down on the front deck and it's going to be able to go the entire length of the boat without hitting anything. So I think that's really important during a day of fishing. You've got 4 or 5 rods out. We're going to have plenty of storage on the deck here to be able to keep everything neat. Moving back into the cockpit, you'll see where I'm standing here. We've got quite a bit of room to operate. So, if you're fishing with 2 or 3 people on this boat, there's plenty of room to be able to get up and move around during a day of fishing. The extra space for rods isn't just limited to the front deck. It's also here on the port side rod box. You'll notice right here we've got 5 enclosed tubes that we can comfortably rest a 10-foot rod, so you can fit all your rods in this port side rod box. Once seated at the console, consistent with all of our other AVX models, we've got plenty of room here at the console to mount a 10-inch unit. And so the angler's able to have this flush mounted, looks really nice and clean to go along with the instrumentation on each side here of the steering wheel. Everything is at a finger's touch here, so you can get access to all of your live wells, bilge pumps, USB charger, and your 12-volt plug while seated here at the console. Plenty of leg room underneath this boat, so we've got plenty of space to operate when we're riding around on the lake. Another strong feature of this 189c is the performance. And so, everything underneath the deck of this boat is foam filled. And so, whether we're talking about the hole shot with our pad performance hole, the way it's going to track in tight turns, or just the overall ride in rough water and adverse conditions, everything underneath the deck of this boat is engineered to make your day on the water extremely comfortable. From whether you're fishing or whether you're riding in recreational traffic or big waves, this boat is made to be able to take on some of the harsher elements that Mother Nature can throw at you. Moving up to the rear deck, I think the first thing we have to talk about is the fiberglass live well in this Vexus. There's tons of fiberglass components implemented into this boat, whether it be the recessed tray that we talked about earlier, the console, the cockpit panel, and the same goes with this live well. This has got a splash ring on it that's going to keep the water where it needs to be, which is inside the live well. This particular model that we're doing the walkthrough on this morning has got an oxygenator in it, and that's an optional feature for this boat. Flanking on each side of this live well, we've got a fiberglass storage box, and these storage boxes have got compression latches on them, just like what you saw earlier on the front deck. But as you look inside this box, there's some things that are really important. You'll notice the raised lip here all the way around the outside of this box with a weather strip seal. So that's going to keep these boxes extremely dry. keep the elements out of them. You'll notice also that we paint the underside of our lids, and so that's to make sure that these lids look the same today as they do 10 years after you've purchased the boat. Also, in every one of these fiberglass boxes, we've got a striker plate. That's to make sure that this latch here on the underside of the compression latch isn't going to mar up the finish on your fiberglass box if it was inadvertently dropped throughout a day of fishing. So just a way to protect your investment that'll pay off down the road. There's so much room in this boat, and the rear deck is no different than that. You'll notice here where I'm standing, an angler's got plenty of room to fish throughout the day, but there's a few things on this back deck that I really like. You'll notice right here, we've got a recessed tie cleat right here that, you know, obviously is real important if you're tying up to a dock throughout the day, but it's recessed, and so it's never going to catch any fishing line. It's not going to get in your way when you're fishing off the back deck during the day. As we move towards the stern on the rear deck, you'll find our battery box right here, and the battery box is a very important feature on an AVX series boat. With having the fuel tank underneath the passenger and driver's seat here in the cockpit, that puts the weight where it needs to be, underneath the seat of the angler, but it also opens up a lot more room in this rear storage box. And so I think what you'll see is we've got the ability to get all 3 batteries in and out of this boat without having to move any trays and without having to skin our knuckles. And so you'll see that we've also got a master power switch right here that, you know, gives you the ability to kill all the power to this boat, so when it's in the garage we're not drawing anything. But the transom is a really important part of the AVX189c. You know, this boat's going to get shallow water anchors put on it, hydraulic jack plates, and there's just a lot of rigors and stress that come on the transom of this boat. As we look at the splash well right here, there's a couple important things and options that are available right here. You know, we've got our remote drain plug right here, so no more getting up and underneath the boat every morning putting the drain plug in. That's all at a finger's touch right here at the transom. But, you know, our fuel fills right here, so we've just, you know, whether you're at the gas station, you've got the ability to put your drain plug in and out while you're getting fuel headed to the lake or taking it out when you're leaving the lake. That's something that's really kind of gives the angler a lot of those creature comforts that you'll see implemented throughout this boat. I think it's important to talk about the power of choice. So at Vexus, we've got the ability to factory rig a Mercury, Yamaha, Evinrude, or Suzuki motor on the back of your boat. But that's not just limited to the outboard, you know, that power of choice. It's no different in electronics. You know, we're able to factory install Garmin, Lowrance, and Humminbird. And in an age where there's more depth finders and trolling motor combinations, the same holds true at the front of the boat. We're able to install Garmin, Lowrance, and Minn Kota trolling motors. So what this really all means is the angler's got the ability to customize this boat and every other boat in our lineup to his needs. We've just been bow to stern on the AVX189c, and I think that we looked at a lot of the custom and unique features that are inside that boat, but those features and customization isn't limited to the boat itself. As you look at this trailer that it's sitting on, you know, its colors go, for instance, you know, all this side badging, the fenders and the trim ring that goes around the non-skid, that's going to match the color of your boat. So it really is giving you a custom package. And speaking of custom packages, every trailer that goes underneath an AVX boat that we produce is custom built here alongside the boat as it moves through production. And so those customization and those features really start to add up, because the boat's going to spend more time on a trailer more often than not than it is in the water. So talking about, you know, some of the rigidity that comes with this trailer, we've got an open channel frame right here that's not going to rust over time. We've got a Victor Shield coating that goes on this that's not only going to resist chips or any sort of scuffs, but it's also got UV inhibitors inside it. So it's not going to turn a chalky white over your life of ownership. You'll notice that all the side guide bunks have the hardware recessed in them. So if you were ever, you know, miss the trailer on a windy day, you're not going to scratch the side of your boat having that hardware exposed. And the bunk placement, I think when you load this boat, you'll see that if you can just get the nose past the fenders, it'll do the rest. And so all of those features really add up into a custom package, whether you're talking about the AVX189c or the trailer underneath it. Thanks for taking the time to walk through the AVX189c with me. And be sure to check out VexusBoats.com, where you'll find more information and videos on the AVX189c and all of our other models that we currently offer. And be sure to check them out at your local Vexus dealer or any boat show near you.